Today's video is all about distance. We're going to show you an explosive move you can add to your swing to produce longer tee shots. So let's take a look at a couple parameters here, and we've got on the screen a pane of glass. This is the vertical line here on the left, and you can see the opaqueness of the glass here on the right. We've got a center of pelvis line, and then we've got a head bubble, kind of a three-dimensional bubble around the golfer's head. And what we're going to look at today is the lift that occurs in the golf swing, and the opposite of lift is drop. So we're going to take a look at that as well. Drop will be represented by a negative number, and the positive number will be, of course, lift, the golfer rising or the golfer lowering. So as we see, at setup starts dead zero. And then as we take the club back, we can see the golfer goes pretty much, and this is pretty uniform across all skill levels actually. There are a few golfers that raise right off the bat, but most golfers will actually lower themselves as they go back. And our pro here, who's one of the longest drivers out on tour, I believe this particular swing is the fastest swing we've captured, excluding long drive guys. So this guy knows how to generate speed, and we're going to show you how he does it relative to this lift and drop. So as we get to the top, we can see he's lowered himself roughly 1.5 inches, a little more than 1.5 inches with his rib cage, almost 1.5 inches with his pelvis. So both similarly lowered in the backswing. And if you've watched any of our videos, you're familiar with this kind of falling to the front foot, and as you fall forward, you're also falling down, and this player demonstrates that really nicely here. So it's if you've ever stood on a bathroom scale and drop down like you're going to jump, you actually weigh less as you're coming down. So with regards to pressure, this golfer is unweighting himself as this happens when he's dropping almost 3 inches lower than where he started with his rib cage, almost 2 inches lower with his pelvis. That allows him to put some force, or to prepare to put some force into the ground, so he has something to push off of as he really starts to ramp up clubhead speed right at this point. We can see him starting to extend, come up, and then at impact he is above where he started with both. Now that produces a tremendous boost in clubhead speed, or can produce a tremendous boost in clubhead speed when that happens. But it's not a free-for-all of just jumping. And I think a lot of golfers, certainly that we've seen in live lessons, kind of equate jumping to gaining more speed. But again, you're not going to hit the ball that solidly if jumping is all you're trying to do. That's why we put up our pane of glass here. We see the golfer is not extending. He's not humping into the golf ball. He's still keeping his rear end, that right cheek, right on that pane of glass, still keeping his tush line, and in fact gets some of his hamstring on that tush line as he's coming into impact. And you can also see relative to that head bubble. So if we scroll back to where we started from, you can see his head kind of at the top of that bubble. And then as we come down into impact, you see it drops, and then it's lower at impact than where it started, even though his rib cage and his pelvis is higher. So it's not just a full body raising, jumping off the ground, and this golfer still has some foot in contact with the ground. Now, the way you can kind of see if you need more of this or any of this in your swing is to film yourself from behind. It's the best way to do it. And you can see this sway line here, this yellow line, falls kind of right in the middle, if you look from down the line, right in the middle of the golfer's rear end. And you can put a line on the video camera. If you set the video camera about waist high from behind, you can put a line right across the middle of your rear end. And you want to see if you're coming above that or below that. You should be coming down about 1 inch in the backswing. And then right around this left arm parallel, you should be a little more than that. And then from this point on, you should be coming up in the impact. And if you've got a white belt or a nice light colored belt, you can use that as well. Just put a line right across that and just see how your levels are. And also put a line on the top of your head here at start. So you've got a line across your waist, line across the top of your head, and you want to see how you're moving relative to our pro example here. If you're not moving similarly to this, you're probably leaving some yards on the table. And if you need more distance, it's a good way to pick up those yards by start taking advantage of the ground with this kind of up and down piston move. And it's a really explosive move, and it's something that just about every golfer can benefit from. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. We've got a lot more of these driver videos on the way. And please leave some comments down below if we can help clarify anything you've seen today or would like to see in the future. Thanks again for watching.